So I get messages weekly on the Corvette. What's going on with it? Are you still working on it? Don't worry, it's still here. It's collecting dust and graffiti. Bumper is in no better shape. We have literally done nothing with it for months because we've had so much other junk going on. And by months, I mean, I think it's coming up on a year since we've done anything to this. So plan is we're gonna strip the turbos off the Buick. We're just gonna make it run and drive, and I'm gonna sell it. And then I got a few other things I'm going to sell, and then we're getting back to work on the Corvette. So there you go. Everybody that wants to know, it's still happening. It's just been on the back burner.
Well, here we go. Let's get those wheels out on the road. It may get dusty, but that's the way she goes. We'll build some greasy old cars and drink our AGD. Hey, don't you know, it's partly built.
All right. So, as you saw in the last video, Steven's truck, we got it, so it starts, it's got a clutch, we changed the master cylinder, he got a new yoke for the diff, got a new yoke for the transmission, and got an aluminum drive shaft. That was yesterday. That drive shaft is over at the machine shop getting built. He's got a few more little things ordered up so that we can finish up some little stuff. Heck, we even fixed the wipers, so we're spoiling ourselves this year. And we might even put the heater in it so that we have defrost. But we're not promising anything. But in the meantime, I'm switching back to the Buick. Haven't forgot about the Corvette. Got to finish the Buick and then either, well, at least get it out of here. But I want to sell it. But I might like it. And if I like it, I probably won't sell it because I'm horrible like that. Anyway. Now that we're back to work on the Buick, some things have changed. I'm not putting turbos on it because I'm not planning on keeping the car. And let's be honest. These were extremely disgusting. We did it more as a joke than anything else. Yes, I would like to put twin Cummins turbos on something at some point. Don't know when that'll be. So in the meantime, because we're not doing turbos and that silly stuff anymore, because we smartened up, mostly. Let's not bite off more than we can chew. Let's try and finish something before we add dumb things to it. So, I swapped back to the Trailblazer SS style intake and the electronic throttle body. The real crappy part is we cut the shroud, and the shroud fit around the mechanical fan perfectly. So now I have to put electric fans on this because I'm never going to find another shroud for this thing. And if I do, someone's going to want an arm and a leg. And I grew up on the Scottish side of Jerusalem, so I'm cheap as they come. Anyway, so I got the rad put back in anyway. We'll have to find some electric fans and get them on there. We still got to plumb the tranny cooler lines. The inner fenders are going to go back in. Luckily, we didn't damage them. So after we get the rest of the stuff done, we'll put the inner fenders in. I got to swap the battery box back over to the stock side so that our cables, factory cables and everything will fit. I'm just fooling around right now with exhaust manifolds because, as you remember, the truck manifolds don't fit because of the flange. So I've cut the flanges off and we're going to weld some exhaust pipe to them because I've seen people do that and then hang turbos on it. So it should easily hold up 3 feet of pipe before there's a hanger. So I'm not too worried. I kind of got this one together roughly, very roughly. I didn't preheat it. I was just trying to tack it and fit it. And it looks like it'll fit, but that's the passenger side one. But I'm an idiot. I forgot. I kind of got to put the starter in there. So now I'm going to have to get the front end of this up, put the starter on it, and make sure that still fits. But I'm thinking it's not gonna. So I think we're going to go off to see Dave and get some piping and just make it out of fresh pipe instead of scraps I got laying around, because that's the only piece I had that really fit anyway. Like, this is too small, plus it's got ugly stuff on it already. This is also too small. So Steven had to run home and take care of animals and stuff, and then he's coming back, and I think when he gets back we'll jack the front end of this up, throw some tires, spare tires underneath the front to get it up in the air, and throw the starter back in and kind of try and figure that out. So in the meantime, I took the throttle pedal out because, not Not running the mechanical throttle now. I won't need it. I'm going to need the electronic pedal. And I happen to have one here that I saved from work. A guy at work swapped one. Didn't fix his problem because he didn't diagnose it correctly. So I saved the pedal, so now I have a free throttle pedal. And here's the stock assembly out of the car. I assume this was just for cruise control. Anyway, I just got a little bolt through this to hold the bracket together here. So I kind of got to get this mounted the same as this plate was on the firewall, but I also got to match the angle of the old pedal. So it's kind of got to be something like this. I got to build a V bracket, and then I also need to space the pedal over a couple inches because the tunnel's right here. If I mount this right where the old one was, it puts it way too far over. So I'm just gonna fart around here trying to build a bracket and see if I can't get this pedal mounted where this used to be. Anyway, that's where I am right now. I'm gonna fool around with this for a bit and I'll get back to you. Alright guys, so after being left on my own to do some thinking, and trust me, it's a good thing the door's open because there was a lot of smoke pouring out my ears. I took my combination square and I figured out my angle I need for this bracket to this bracket. Tough to see. Anyway, I'm going to take a piece of angle iron so I can mount it. I'll probably reuse this plastic piece just because it's kind of sits inside the carpet type deal. I'm going to take that, I'm going to mount this to it, and then I can take the side of this angle. It's tough to do with one hand and show you, but I can take it and take my combination square, make a mark and cut that, and then I can take another piece of aluminum and we can weld it pretty much right there, and hopefully you can see that. It's a little tough to do with one hand. Hopefully it works. We're gonna try it. I mean, it's a chunk of scrap aluminum. We'll see what we can do. Alright, step one is to get the holes drilled. So that mounts on there. Perfect. I even did the pilot holes for the pins. I don't know why you can see that. So it's on there good now. Holes line up. So now I'm going to grab a clean cut-off wheel. I'm going to cut this on that angle. Then I'm going to bolt this in the car. And I'm going to set the pedal up on there and make sure everything looks good. I don't know if I got to make this shorter or not. Like I said, I gave myself a little more room here. So hopefully we're okay. Alright, so I made this base plate with the 3 holes to match up to the pedal. And I've got it tacked. I'm just going to put a little better tack at this end. Then I'm going to take it in the car. I'm going to mount it up tight. And I'm going to make sure that my pedal sitting at that angle will work okay. And if it's good, we'll weld this in solid and I'll gusset the backside somehow just so I make sure there's strength on my pedal. So there you go. Not a lot of light in here, not a lot of room. But, as you can see, maybe, there's the pedal mounted on the bracket. So lots of room on the floor. I can get full stroke without hitting anything. And I sat in the driver's seat and it's comfortable. So now I'll pull it back out. I'll gusset it up a little bit. And then clean up some edges. And it's done. Easy as that. Now that I got it out of the car, you can see what I mean. Fits on there real nice. This bracket, sorry about that. That bracket sits in there nice with those pins. The mounts to the firewall, real nice. So like I said, I'll just gusset the bottom here with a little triangular brace. I got lots of room before the bolt here, so it shouldn't be much of an issue. I'll get that gusseted up, welded up, I'll clean up some edges, and we'll get her installed permanently. There we go. It's all welded up, gusseted up, and ground up as nice as it's going to get. You're never going to see it anyway. And I'm not even going to bother painting it because it's aluminum. So I don't need to. It's not going to rust. But other than that, you know the old saying, grinder and paint makes me the welder I ain't. And yeah, that's as good as that's going to get. When I don't have my designated welder around here, I kind of got to make do on my own. Alright, Steven's back. We test fit it. It actually will clear the starter. So now he's just welding this up for me so that, you know, we have a chance of it sealing.
Get her all Zeus together.
Throttle pedal is, I got that bracket all cleaned up, gusseted up, ground up, and mounted. Not that you can see anything in the dark, but I swear it's done. Got the battery box switched back to the normal side. Making some headway now. After Steven gets those welded up, we'll let them cool off. And then maybe tomorrow night I'll get them mounted up, get the starter put in. And once that manifold's in, I can figure out the plumbing for the fuel lines, and I can figure out what I'm going to do with the tranny cooler lines. So just little here, little there. I'm going to pull the fuel rail out and give it the old 180 so that my fuel line comes out the back on the driver's side, so I don't have to run near as much hose. But yeah, coming together. We're going to keep welding. Alright, this manifold is ready to go. Steven got her all welded up, and then I put the heat shield on. You don't even see the weld, it just looks like a custom manifold now. And this provides two features. Number one, safety so nothing melts. And number two, it irritates Steven. Let's see what Steven thinks. What do you think, Steven?
Heat shields are gay.
See? Two purposes there. He's just getting the second one welded up. We'll have to throw a flange on that one yet. The only problem with this pipe is we have the opposite flange of what you would normally have. This is usually the downpipe side. So it might take a little bit of screwing around with some other pieces to try and make this work, but you know, we'll figure it out. Hard part's done. Alright, so it's just after 10 on a Wednesday. I'm going to call it a night, Steven. How about you?
Yeah.
Steven got all those manifolds welded up, and he even welded this old cast flange to a chunk of pipe so that we can do the exhaust later so all the flanges match up. I got the manifolds in, gaskets in, they're torqued up. Got the plugs, the wires, the coils are all in. It's starting to look like an actual engine. And it all fits beautifully now. Thank you, Steven. Good job. And like some of these welds, I should have showed you guys. Well, look at this. Look at that freaking weld. TIG. This guy is getting really good at his TIG welding, I'm telling you.
I'll probably crack the first speed bump we hit with the cast.
Oh, whatever.
But, fuck it. Ain't my car.
So yeah, there's a ton more stuff to do, but I feel like we actually made some headway today, which is good. So, we're going to call it a night. I don't know what we're doing next time. But, thanks for watching, guys.
More shit hackery, probably.
Probably. Well, in the spirit of don't get it right, just get it running, the shroud's mounted. I realize, like, quite a bit of the rad is not covered, but, you know, some guys don't run a shroud at all and then run a mechanical fan, so this is still going to do more than that. It's held in with, you know, 1.3 million zip ties and one bolt. So I'll have to put a piece of foam on this end because there's quite a gap here. And I had some thick foam around here somewhere, but I have no idea where Steven and or I put it, or if we used it, I don't know. So I'll just have to get a new piece of foam, and we'll just stuff a chunk of foam in here, and should be good. But I'll get this stuff back in. All I got to do is just wire this up. It's already got the resistors and everything. And worst case, I can just get rid of the resistors and run it as a standard 1-speed rad, I would think. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to get the rad stuff back in. I'll get the lines done back up on it. If it'll clear the fan that's currently here, I'm going to have to get rid of this old mechanical one. I just don't have the tool here with me. So I'm going to fiddle fuck away here for a while, and we'll see what happens.